What if the most emotionally intelligent being in the room wasn't human, it was an octopus? What if that octopus had been secretly watching you, studying your fingerprints, memorizing your face, and had quietly figured out the one secret that could change everything for a grieving old woman and a lost young man? A secret buried 30 years deep at the bottom of the sea. That is not a science fiction premise. That is Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. And I promise you, by the time you hear the last page of the story, you will never look at loss, loneliness, or family the same way again. Stay with me. This one is special. Published in 2022, Remarkably Bright Creatures became one of those quiet word-of-mouth sensations, the kind of book people press into strangers' hands and say, "Just read it." It spent months on bestseller lists, and for good reason. On the surface, it's a story about a grieving 70-year-old woman who cleans an aquarium at night, a directionless 30-year-old man from California searching for his father, and a giant Pacific octopus named Marcellus who narrates parts of the story with extraordinary intelligence and dry, withering wit. But underneath, it's really a story about grief, about the family we lose and the family we never knew we had, and about what it means to stay alive, truly alive, when the world has taken nearly everything from you. The story is set in Sowell Bay, a small, slightly faded fishing town in Washington state. The aquarium there sits right on the waterfront, and it's here that these three unlikely lives will converge, guided by the world's most perceptive octopus. Let's meet our characters. Tova Sullivan. Tova is 70 years old, a Scandinavian-American widow of immaculate habits and colossal grief. She mops the floors of the Sowell Bay Aquarium every night, arriving with her jug of vinegar and lemon oil. She straightens the trash bags. She scrubs the glass until it gleams. She is the kind of woman who does things correctly, always, because if you keep busy enough and do everything right, you don't have to sit still with the pain. And Tova has so much pain. Her husband died of cancer a couple of years back. Before that, 30 years before that, her son Eric, brilliant, golden Eric, captain of a sailing team, valedictorian, 18 years old, disappeared one night after his shift at the ferry dock. A boat was found, an anchor rope cut clean. Everyone in Sowell Bay decided he must have taken his own life. Tova has never believed that, not for 1 minute. She carries this grief in her body, in her rigid routines, in the way she cannot stop moving lest something catch up with her. She has her nitwits, her small group of elderly friends, but she keeps even them at arm's length. She is solitary in the way that sometimes comes not from preference, but from the slow erosion of everyone you love. Cassmore. Cameron is 30, scruffy, chronically unemployed, and self-described disaster. He's been fired from more jobs than he can count. His girlfriend just threw his clothes off her balcony. He's been crashing on his best friend Brad's couch in California when his Aunt Jean, the woman who raised him after his mother abandoned him at age 9, presses a box into his hands. His mother's things. Inside the box, wrapped around some old jewelry, is a crumpled photograph and a class ring. The ring says, Sowell Bay High School, class of 1989. Cameron digs online and becomes convinced that the man in the photograph with his young, healthy, smiling mother is Simon Brinks, a rich Seattle real estate developer. He books a budget flight to Washington State, buys a rattling old camper, and heads to Sowell Bay to find his father. Or, more accurately, to demand financial reparations from his father. He is not, it turns out, a bad person. He's just someone who has been adrift his whole life, waiting for something to anchor him. Marcellus McSquiddles. And then there is Marcellus, a giant Pacific octopus, age approximately 4 years, which is very old for his species. He lives in a tank at the Sowell Bay Aquarium. He can read. He has 3 hearts. He has a collection of stolen trinkets in the gravel of his tank, marbles, earrings, credit cards, and one very particular key. He escapes his tank at night through a gap near the pump, navigating the dark aquarium in search of sea cucumbers, fresh shellfish, and whatever else interests him. His chapters are narrated in dry, imperious first person. He finds humans largely dull, their communication skills abysmal, and their obsession with weather utterly baffling. And yet, somehow he cares. He cares about Tova, the cleaning woman who talks to him. He cares about what happens to her after he is gone. And Marcellus knows, with the certainty of his half-billion neurons, that he is running out of time. The novel begins, memorably, on day 1299 of my captivity. Marcellus introduces himself with magnificent disdain, noting the plaque outside his tank that says, "Octopuses are remarkably bright creatures." He finds this both accurate and insufficient. Tova meets Marcellus properly one night when she finds him entangled in the power cords of the break room. He'd escaped, eaten Chinese takeout from the trash, and gotten stuck. She frees him. He wraps a tentacle around her wrist, leaving a silver dollar bruise she'll carry for weeks. This accidental rescue begins an extraordinary nocturnal friendship. Every night, Tova talks to Marcellus through the glass, and Marcellus, though she doesn't know it, listens with full comprehension. She tells him about Eric, about Lars, her estranged brother who just died, leaving her his last effects, about her plans to eventually move to Charter Village, a nice retirement facility, because she has no one to grow old with. Marcellus observes all of this. He also notices something that neither Tova nor anyone else has yet seen, but we'll get to that. Cameron rolls into Sowell Bay in his second-hand camper, hits a flat tire immediately, and is rescued by Ethan Mack, a big, bearded Scottish man who owns the Shopway grocery store and is deeply, hopelessly in love with Tova Sullivan from the other side of the checkout lane. Ethan hooks Cameron up with work at the aquarium, first chopping bait, then eventually filling in as Tova's temporary replacement after she sprains her ankle, falling off a pump room stool while feeding Marcellus through the tank lid. Cameron meets Tova one night when she slips into the aquarium after hours to check on Marcellus. He finds her coaxing a half-dried octopus down from a high shelf where it had retreated after nearly escaping through the back door. He watches in astonishment as she speaks to it calmly, and it listens. They form an alliance. He'll keep Marcellus's wandering secret. She'll teach him the proper way to hook a trash bag liner. Their strange, tender friendship deepens. Cameron doesn't know yet that Tova has a dead son. Tova doesn't know yet that Cameron has a dead father he never got to meet. Cameron spends a summer in Sowell Bay chasing dead ends in pursuit of Simon Brinks. He gets information from the local realtor. He drives 2 hours to an empty cliff in the San Juan Islands. He calls every number he can find. He even meets a girl, Avery, the fierce, capable owner of the local paddle shop who has a teenage son named Marco and a patience for exactly zero nonsense. She gives him joint cream for his neck and her phone number. Meanwhile, Tova begins her own quiet investigation. At Marian's farewell luncheon, she runs into Adam Wright, a former classmate of Eric's, who, 3 martinis deep, mentions something that stops her cold. There was a girl Eric was seeing that last summer that no one knew about. A girl he was planning to bring to a cabin. There was a girl. These 4 words begin to haunt every corner of Tova's existence. She starts searching yearbooks and records. In the Shopway produce section, Adam's partner Sandy catches up with Tova and gives her the name she's been searching for. Daphne Cassmore. Marcellus has known all along. In some of the novel's most extraordinary passages, Marcellus explains what he can see simply by watching and observing. The gait, the dimple on the left cheek, the greenish flecks in the eyes, the way certain people hum tunelessly while they mop. He has noticed, with absolute certainty, that Cameron and Tova share traits that cannot be coincidence. He tried to tell her. He returned her lost house key from his collection. He watches and waits. When Cameron fills out his employment paperwork and leaves his driver's license on the copier, Marcellus, in what is the single most heroic act in the novel, escapes his tank for what he knows will likely be his last journey. He suckles his way down the hallway, retrieves Cameron's license from Terry's desk, and hides it under the sea lion statue's tail. He knows Tova will clean under that tail. She always does. Cameron finally gets his meeting with Simon Brinks, who turns out to be not his father at all, but his mother Daphne's best friend. The ring Cameron has been carrying belongs to someone else entirely. Simon tells him that Daphne was brilliant, that she could have gone on Jeopardy, that she had plans, and that her addiction consumed all of it. He knew she loved Cameron. He just doesn't know who Cameron's father was. Cameron drives back to Sowell Bay devastated. He nearly quits his job and leaves for California. He argues with Ethan. He hurls the mystery class ring into the wolf-eel tank in frustration. But Tova finds the driver's license under the sea lion statue. She looks at Cameron's full name. She thinks about Daphne Cassmore, Eric's secret girlfriend from the summer of 1989. She does the math on Cameron's birthday. February 2nd, 1990. 9 months after that summer. After the night, and everything, every last thing, clicks into place. Tova confronts Cameron gently in the aquarium hallway. She asks him his mother's name, Daphne Cassmore. She was seeing him. Tova says softly, "Your mother is the girl." They sit together on the bench by the sea lion statue, and Tova tells him everything. About Eric, about the night he disappeared, about the boat and the cut anchor rope and the 30 years she spent not believing the official story. Cameron begins to understand something extraordinary. The man he came here looking for has been dead for 30 years. He is not the son of a wealthy developer who owes him child support. He is the grandson of the woman who has been teaching him to mop floors and hook trash bag liners and talk to an octopus. There are tears. There is silence. There is a very tentative and beautiful beginning. And what about that ring? The one Cameron threw in with the eels. Marcellus retrieves it. Of course he does. He drags himself through the wolf-eel tank at enormous cost to his failing body and secures it. He leaves it on the aquarium floor for Tova to find. She turns it over. The engraving reads, ELS, Eric Ernest Lindgren Sullivan. Her son's ring. Lost in the sea 30 years ago. Returned by an octopus. Tova has been planning to move to Charter Village. She sold her house, the house her father built, the house where Eric grew up. But after the revelation, something shifts. She cannot go. She finds Marcellus on her last night at the aquarium, crumpled near the front door, pale, spent, impossibly old. She wets him with water from his tank. She lifts him into a yellow mop bucket, and she wheels him, slowly, across the boardwalk and down to the jetty at low tide. She sits beside the bucket and says goodbye. She thanks him for returning the key, for stealing the driver's license, for being the only one who knew. She tells him he led her to her grandson. "You tried to tell me, and I wasn't listening." She tilts the bucket. Marcellus wraps one arm around her hand for one last moment, and then releases. He drops into the dark water of Puget Sound and is gone. He settles to the bottom of the sea, near where Eric has rested for 30 years. His last chapter, narrated from the depths, is one of the most beautiful passages in modern fiction. He says darkness suits him. He says he is grateful. He says he is lucky. Day one of my freedom. Cameron comes back. He does not go to California. He repairs the belt on his camper, turns around, and drives north. He goes to Terry and apologizes. He goes to Tova's house, the morning it is to be handed over, and meets her on the empty porch. He has a grandmother. She has a grandson. Together, they walk through the room where Eric grew up. Cameron spots a replaced floorboard, different grain, slightly off, and pops it with a key ring. Inside, fossilized snack cakes and a Swedish tea towel wrapped around a doll horse. The sixth one. The one Eric broke in the fight with Tova the night he died. The fight she has never forgiven herself for. He fixed it. Of course he fixed it. Remarkably Bright Creatures is, at its heart, a book about connection across impossible distances, distances of time, grief, species, and generation. Tova's story is about what happens when grief becomes identity. She has structured her entire life around Eric's absence. Her routines, her stoicism, her insistence on doing everything correctly, all of it is armor. Cameron cracks it open without meaning to, simply by being his father's son. Cameron's story is about belonging. He spent his life believing he was the product of damage, his mother's addiction, his father's absence. He discovers instead that he comes from something extraordinary, a brilliant, golden boy who sailed and quoted Shakespeare and loved someone deeply enough to leave a ring behind. And Marcellus reminds us that intelligence and consciousness take forms we cannot always recognize or appreciate. He was trapped in a small tank, understimulated and overlooked. But he saw everything. He noticed what the humans around him could not. And in his last weeks, he used every last ounce of his strength to push two lonely people toward each other. The novel asks, what do we owe each other across the boundaries of species, of generation, of blood? And it answers, everything. Witness each other. Pay attention. Act on what you see before it's too late. At the end of the book, Tova doesn't go to Charter Village. She buys a waterfront condo in Sowell Bay. Cameron works construction nearby and takes college classes. They play Scrabble together. Ethan comes for dinner. Avery and her son Marco come for pie. There is a moth sausage t-shirt. There is a cat who refuses to leave. There is, finally, a table with enough people at it. Tova still volunteers at the aquarium 3 times a week. She stands in front of a new octopus tank, a rescued female, a little shy, and helps visitors understand the creature. She can't help wiping the fingerprints off the glass when it's quiet. She talks to the new octopus, too. She always will. Remarkably Bright Creatures is one of those rare novels that somehow makes you love an octopus, grieve a boy you never met, and feel the full, aching weight of how much strangers can mean to each other. If this summary moved you even a little, the book will wreck you in the best possible way. Pick it up, and I'll see you in the next one.